Well, they finally did it. 2 fracking years after they said they would, but better late than never. The area forecast went bye-bye recently. Not to be confused with the terminal area forecast, that's still a thing. So I thought it would be fun to go over the thing that replaced the area forecast. It was replaced by two things that are different but also the same: the graphical forecast for aviation tool and the aviation forecast. Let's go over the latter one first, since it's the easiest one to go over. Some of you may be just old enough to remember these damn things, or maybe even this impossible to read bastard. Although both of these are still a thing, and these are the current ones at time of writing anyway, they've gotten harder to find. You have to go to a whole separate web page and click a separate link and everything. The aviation forecast is a lot like these two graphical maps, only it's easier to read, shows more information, is easily attainable, and basically good. Here we see the aviation forecast page, big map with all the weather to worry about. There are two plots available, the surface and the clouds. The clouds plot shows you the coverage of clouds with bases below flat level 180, and also shows their tops and where exactly the bases are. It even shows you icing and mountain obscuration air mets. Keep in mind, this is a forecast product, not an observation. It can be wrong. For example, the current cloud plot shows clear skies and high cirrus over Valdosta, Georgia, and while it's mostly right, you can see Moody Air Force Base is reporting broken clouds. The other plot available is the surface plot, which has way more information to show on it. A bunch of hieroglyphics, arrows pointing everywhere, some pretty colors to boot. Before we run off to get a degree in meteorology in an attempt to understand this, let's zoom the map to a specific area to make things easier. A little bit more, please, pass me. Thank you. Let's break this down. The arrows are pretty simple. These are the wind barbs. They show you the direction the wind is coming from and its intensity. Picture a finger pointing in the direction the wind blows to, with the wrist being where the ticks are, and the tip of the finger at the end of the line. That's basically what this is. Each tick represents 5 knots. The more ticks, the higher the speed, up until the point they give up and start using flags. A flag is 50 knots. Hollow circles indicate winds below 3 knots, aka calm. If the tick is red, that's a gust factor. If the flag is red, then don't fly that day. The strange hieroglyphics are the weather symbols. There are a lot of weather symbols, but don't worry, the ones you should commit to memory are this one, 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 and this one. They have modifiers too. If you see a dot, it's rain. Snowflake is snow, and the triangle is hail. Although there are many more weather symbols to know, the ones I listed are the most common ones you will see. Note that the weather symbols are color-coded to indicate the chance that the weather phenomena will occur in that area. Or, in the case of thunderstorms, the coloration indicates the coverage of the storms: isolated, scattered, or numerous. Bit of advice. Chance of rain does not mean what you think it means. Chance of rain, or probability of precipitation, is a product of this complicated mathematical formula. C is the confidence that precip will occur somewhere in the forecast area. A is the percent of the area that will receive measurable precipitation. If the forecaster is only 50% sure that rain will occur, and if it does occur it will produce a measurable rain over 80% of the area, then the chance of rain is 40%. How convenient. The coloration you see dotted around indicates areas of visibility that's less than 5 statute miles. You can see which color corresponds to which distance using the legend down here. And you can see IFR and surface wind air mets on this plot. Now note, no sigmets appear on either of the two plots. Using the arrow, you can jump forward in 3-hour intervals to see how they expect the weather to change throughout the day. Any air mets that expect to be issued, or current air mets that extend into the shown time, will be displayed. The time at which the forecast will be valid is shown on the top right. You can use the drop-down list to jump to one of the forecast periods. If you want to print the forecast, simply click and hold, then drag the mouse to select the image and text. Use the key command Ctrl-P. Check the box Selection Only in the options under More Settings. You can see the preview window shows the forecast image we want. That's it for the aviation forecast, but there is a more handy tool available for general pre-flight and weather browsing. The Graphical Forecast for Aviation tool takes many of the separate weather products that have their own pages and combines them into one place for your convenience. This tool has many products available for viewing, 2 modes, and several useful overlays that can be found in the settings. Along the top, we can see the different products available for the mode you're currently in, the buttons to switch between different modes and bring up the settings, a timeline allowing us to jump backward or forward in time depending on the mode we're in, and lastly the timestamp that shows the time the page and tool were loaded. Note, it does not show the current time, it shows the time you loaded the web page. Along the bottom, we see a helpful legend which will tell us how to read the various things displayed in the window. Know that this legend will change depending on the weather product we are currently viewing. It only shows the relevant things. If you see the text weather symbols, you can click it to bring up a guide of all the different weather symbols, so there's no need to guess at it. The bottom right of the display shows the current position of the cursor on the map, displayed in both latitude, longitude, and bearing range from the closest navaid if you have the navaid overlay turned on. It will also show you the timestamp of the current displayed radar image. Note that it cycles the past 30 minutes of radar images. The forecast mode shows us all the forecast products. Remember, there are 2 types of weather products available: forecast, which are predictions to what the weather will do, and observations, which are what the weather was like at a specific location and time. Remember to use the timeline to skip to various times in the future or the past. You can look at things on an individual hour, unlike the aviation forecast, which only shows things in 3-hour intervals. There are 8 forecast products available. The one we've been looking at is the terminal area forecast. Displayed are the METAR stations and what the meteorologists believe the weather will be like at the currently selected time. Zoom in to see other METAR stations. Click one of them to get a text version of the TAF. The next product is the ceiling visibility forecast. This shows areas where instrument meteorological conditions can be expected. Note this product has 3 viewing options in the upper left corner of the display. You can see the flight categories, ceiling display, or visibility display. Note that the weather symbols are used here as well. The clouds forecast shows areas of clouds along with their coverage, base, and tops. Again, there are 3 viewing options. Be aware of the words cirrus and the code CI above on the display. These 2 indicates that there are clouds above flight level 180 in that area. The difference is that cirrus means the only clouds forecast to be there are above flight level 180, whereas CI above or cirrus above means that there are clouds above the indicated ones. SKC means skies clear. Precipitation and weather forecast shows areas where precipitation of some type is expected to occur, and the chance of it occurring. The type of precip is color-coded. See the legend for the coloration information. Segments and warnings are also displayed on this product. If an area is outlined in red, it indicates thunderstorms are forecast. However, look at this area. It's surrounded in red, but the symbols used indicate showers, not storms. This is because the red outline is the inner border of the larger shape that indicates where the storms are. Use the weather symbols to help determine this. The next product is the thunderstorm forecast. This shows the area where thunderstorms are expected to occur, and the coverage they will occur at. Segments and warnings are displayed here as well, along with the weather symbols. The next product is the wind forecast. This one shows the wind speed and direction the wind is coming from. Recall the pointing finger. There is also coloration to show areas of similar wind speed, and it shows airmet, segments, and warnings. A word on that. Whenever a particular product displays those things, it only shows the ones related to the forecast. For example, this wind forecast will display airmets for strong surface winds, but not IFR or mountain obscuration airmets. Keep that in mind when looking at the various products. The slider on the left will let you change which altitude is displayed. Clicking any of the wind barbs will give you a text reading of what that barb is indicating. The turbulence forecast shows you where turbulence is expected along with the associated airmets and sigmets. The legend will also help you determine how severe the turbulence will be for the type of aircraft you are flying. And again, the slider to your left lets you select an altitude. Low and high combine all the turbulence for a range of altitudes into one image. Low is all turbulence for below flight level 180, and high is for everything above flight level 180. The icing forecast shows areas where icing is expected. The slider to the left lets you change altitudes. Max combines all altitudes into one image. Relevant airmets, sigmets, and warnings are also displayed. The weather symbols make an appearance here too. With all forecast products, remember you are looking at a forecast. It's a prediction. Also remember to make use of the timeline to see how the weather is expected to change. Now let's look at observation products. Observation products are records of what the weather was like at a given time and place, but they are past observations and the weather can change quite a bit between then and now. The first observation product is the METARs. This product displays the various METARs on the map along with the current satellite image and radar images from the past 30 minutes played on a loop. Sigmets and warnings are also displayed. Zooming in on the map will display more weather stations that are hidden at higher zoom levels. The METARs are displayed graphically where their stations are located. The graphic includes the wind barb, which we have already discussed, but also includes more information. The circle can be filled in to show the cloud coverage over the station. The text information from around the station is, from the top right moving clockwise, the QNH pressure setting omitting the first digit, the ceiling height, the station ID, the dew point, visibility, and temperature. Weather phenomena that may be occurring at the station will have their associated symbol displayed alongside the dew point readout. The station's color will change to indicate flight category. You can also click on the station to get the text readout of the METAR. The next product is the Precipitation and Weather Observation. This product displays the current satellite image and radar images over the past 30 minutes. In addition, it places weather symbols where the various weather phenomena are occurring. Warnings and sigmets are also displayed. Ceiling and visibility is similar to the forecast version. However, instead of displaying a shaded relief where the IMC weather may happen, it shows a numerical readout of the reported ceiling and visibility at the specific time. It also shows the flight category of the stations that were marginal VFR, IFR, or low IFR at the specified time. The PIREP product shows the location of current PIREPs. Click on them to read their full text. Note that there are no PIREPs at time of recording. They use the images you see in the legend to depict them. Lastly, the radar and satellite product shows the current satellite image and radar images going back 30 minutes. Remember, radar images are updated in 10-minute intervals normally. One last thing. The settings dialog is something you should check. Here, you can change the background map, format of the latitude-longitude display, turn on or off the various map overlays, and change their scale, but most importantly, you can change which satellite image you currently see and which radar image you currently see. Remember, there's a big difference between visible, infrared, and water vapor satellite images, and a very big difference between the composite and low-angle radar images. And that concludes my overview of the Aviation Forecast and GFA tool. These things recently replaced the old text-based area forecast. And I think we're done. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time, everyone. Take care.